Hello, everyone. Tough audience. I'm quite blown away a bit by this space because I've been to events where I've actually been behind the camera, bless you, son, and I've had to follow the person around, and I'm telling them all the time to make sure you stay still, grab people in. But there's just so much space here that I feel like I need to move around. So I'm going to try not to. I'll try not to move into the crowd as well, or look straight into the camera. So. As Guy mentioned, how can I leave you if you won't go away? And as I work for a company that makes chocolate, makes biscuits, makes snacking products, you may or may not have heard of, and I'll talk a little about me, I'll talk a bit about us, and then I want to talk to you about how you can understand how an FMCG works and how we're trying to imagine and trying to work in this sort of digital age that we're in. And also, obviously, countless of you who may be contacting me over the next few weeks with an amazing solution to a problem I didn't realise I had. Hence the title of this the talk. And I found the image of it. I don't know if any Dan Hicks fans in. It's really, really tough. Is it in the morning or something? I'll give you some chocolate in a minute to cheer you up. But I particularly like this image. I was confused. I thought that was like some sort of furry thing going around his bottle of Chardonnay there, but I think it's some flowers. And I think this is probably the original hipster there. He hasn't got the full-on beard, but he's definitely the kind of person that you would want to get away from you. So, any mathematicians? Anyone who work in analytics here? Anyone analytics people? Bless you, son. Bless you. You can come on, loud and proud. Come on. No, yeah, a bit. Okay, you're not sure what you're doing. Oh. Anybody, any creative people? Anybody in the creative world? They never go to, oh, bless you. That's like, what did the rest of you do then? Oh, that's right. So, you look at this series of numbers, see if you can work out what the next one is to change. In the meantime, has everyone in the room personally met Guy? No? Okay. I have some products here. Does anyone need some chocolate? I think you look like you do. Bless you, your hands up. Guy, could you do me a favour? Could you just hand some of these out? Bless you. We need to get rid of all those, hopefully, ideally. I know what it's like. It's getting near to Easter, and you're thinking, when am I going to have next cream egg? Don't worry, because we've got some here. And these aren't ones for Easter. Oh, no, these are for Halloween. Goosed eggs with the goo inside. So you'll get your chocolate hit today. So let's look at this series of numbers. As I sort of click through the various things, you can try to get an idea what it's about. So this is clearly about me. I'm probably a bit more active on LinkedIn. Have lots of friends, apparently. I'm not very active on Twitter. Probably not worth following me. I think I've got more followers than I have tweets, but they're there anyway. 17 years working within analytics and numbers. I love listening to statistics. Fastest growing, the amount of change, what's happened different. Hear that quite a lot. And 5 years working in analytics, econometrics, already trying to get our head around how to analyse things at the moment before we know, obviously, as we've just been hearing, it all needs to change because the way we're measuring effectiveness is completely wrong and needs to be a lot better. I hear the thing quite a lot, and I don't like that number. I want another number. We need to find the right number. It's a constant challenge for us. And so hopefully through my talk, I'll help you to understand the challenges we're facing particularly. Then it gets a bit personal, I guess. I have 2 wives, not at the same time. Had a number one, presently married very happily. Have a grandchild as well. It's technically step-granddad. She has a series of granddads to choose from, but I'm just known as granddad now. I just deal with that. It's fine. Any action on Pokemon this morning? Seen any gyms? Anybody? Anything? Anyone? No, that's old news, really, isn't it? So that's a little bit about me to try and give you an idea of where I'm at. Mondelez International, a company a lot of people have never heard of. And as Guy mentioned, the day I joined Cadbury's, and day one, 15 minutes in, we got taken over by Kraft. And so we often get accused, that's a happy day, we often get accused on the client side of we're not moving fast enough, we've got old systems, we're changing different things. All I've known in our business the last 5 years is constant change and evolving. We've had 5 categories, we went to 3 categories, we split the company in 2, we nearly acquired Hershey's recently, well, would have made a big difference. That's not happened. Maybe there'll be something happening in the future, but we are constantly changing and constantly evolving. But let's just be clear about what we're not, because I'm always jealous When I listen to people who work in these kind of industries, so whether it's cars, I've got a 5 million campaign, I've got a 25 grand car, I don't have to shift too many of those to get a decent ROI. We're not obviously in mobile. England to score next. Never mind, we'll move on from betting. Drugs, pharmacy, people, none of these things, okay? That is not us. And there's lots of great work and great analytics and great people where you own the path. You can see the path to purchase through search and touch points and media that you're doing and on and offline conversations. It's more difficult for us. Well, we have a massive range of brands which are available across the world, across snacking. So Cadbury, you're probably aware of. Oreo, which is, everywhere we seem to launch it, does particularly well. It's a really, really successful brand. And moving those brands together to stretch the brands to get more people to enjoy them as well. Some unusual brands on there. Nutter Butter. Not really sure what that is. It sounds a little politically incorrect to me, but that's fine. It's a very, very good product, I'm sure. And even Tang, powdered beverages as well, really important in the Asian market. So we have lots and lots of brands across lots and lots of markets. And we have the power of big and smalls. It's taken straight from our website. I've sort of got my presentation checked with the legal department to make sure I don't say anything inflammatory. If I do, I just apologise right now, and please don't print it or say someone else said it. So we're a big company, but we believe all in one thing, something unique to us, and that's the power of big and small. I apologise for using the word starting a sentence with yes, but okay. We have the scale and resources of a global powerhouse, okay, but also the speed and creativity and agility of a fresh new startup. So there's quite some sort of big words there to get behind. I'll talk about some simple examples where we think we've done those sort of things, but underneath the banner for what we are trying to do in marketing and in our comms and our products we're launching is to be fearless, okay? It's a big mantra we've got going on in the business. We want to make brave decisions, we want to do different things, and we are very aware of the tides, the change, and challenger brands. And in general terms, particularly in chocolate, which is where I spend most of my time, we underspend versus our market share, our share of voice, versus the competition. So we're facing challenger brands all the time, but we are often, with a lot of heritage brands, trying to sort of get incremental growth and maintain the level of share that we have. And there's a number of brave things we've done. I've just taken some very simple examples here. Belvita, for example, very, very interesting product, targeting breakfast on the go. Lots of established breakfast manufacturers in the market, and then a brand coming into FMCG. It's pretty easy to get double-digit growth in year one. It's not often done in year 2 and 3 and 4. And then as the other competition come in and some have fallen away, it's still there and still innovating and still growing and growing in other markets. So, anyone in from Kellogg's? Oh, no, good. If we look at the Cream Egg Cafe as well. So we don't necessarily do big national launch, we do a little experiential thing. We launched the cafe in London, nice little bit of PR put together, completely sold out all the tickets for it, running from January through to Easter. And at the time, when clearly there were some issues in the press with how a cream egg was actually being viewed in terms of chocolate, how many were in a box, and so on. But again, phenomenally successful amongst the people that really love the brand. Ritz, again, Gary's not in yet, who won over Walkers, yeah. So we launched Crisp and Thin, which is very nice, slightly healthier snack. Again, double-digit growth in year 2. It's great. It's some big innovations, and it's difficult to do. It's difficult to do with an FMCG to get behind it. Take a brand like Ritz, which is sort of known, and then move it into a new kind of category. And then the more sort of cleverer stuff. Oreo Eclipse, we probably had a bit of luck there because good old British weather was rubbish last year, and obviously the eclipse didn't quite happen, and so it was a little bit grey, but we've managed to organise a little campaign quite quickly, actually simulated the eclipse with Oreo happening and did a band wrap around the Sun newspaper. We don't tend to invest a lot in the press in general, but here is exactly the right decision for us to get the message to as many people in the Sun. Everyone understands it. Stood out really well. ROI on that campaign, not massively successful, and I'll explain the reason why for that coming up compared to what's happening in store. It's all very well talking about instant return, 100,000 clicks and this, that, and the other, but for what we are trying to make, for the products which aren't particularly expensive, you have to drive a lot of those sales. And a lot of advertising spend in 24 hours probably isn't going to drive a big return. That doesn't mean we don't do it, and we do lots of activity like that, but we're trying to find a balance. Okay, we're trying not to say, we'll just do more TV or more online, less online. We're absolutely investing in digital. We have global partnership with Facebook, with Google, with Twitter, and we're working with them to understand how we can make better decisions on their platform and how we can optimize for TV and so on. Anyone here from Red Bull at all? They obviously, chucked a man out of space. We chucked a man out of a plane with no parachute, 25,000 feet into a net. Yeah, that's fearless. You had to pay to watch that content as well, which we looked at. I mean, I guess, had he missed the net, it would have been interesting. But anyway, certainly fearless, bless him, and he landed and he survived. One of our brands was behind the sponsoring behind that. And even something simple like using 360 with Memory Lane is something we did with AOL. Nice little bit of experiential, put some photos in and you can go down this line and look around and see all the memories that you have for a particular brand. And I could go on with these ones. We even tried instantly, can we get some Trident chewing gum in New York? We did a little partnership with Uber to see that. Again, I have no idea if it was successful, but it seemed like a good idea at the time. Now, this is the issue for us. We have all these wonderful comms and wonderful ideas and wonderful things and messages and people like yourselves coming to us about how we connect people together. But for the majority of the time, once they move into a store, can be what they are presented with, most of our consumers. Most of them aren't shopping online for snacking products. And we have a massive, beautiful pile here of either Quavers or Oreos. And they've obviously stacked them slightly to the right there. I have no idea why. The problem with this, of course, is it's half price. Okay, so who's funding that promotion? Straight away, the margin you're making that is a lot lower. So what is the revenue you're getting back on that? Okay, and the number of promotions and the pressure that we're on, and we've got Morrison's coming on afterwards, I'm sure he can talk about how trying to understand the balance of the consumers, what's happened with the discounters, how that affects how people perceive price and value and the decisions that they make in store. And these are the kind of stores that we're kind of trying to deal with. So for the majority of it, it's still the classic corner shop. Bless him, Eddie there. Irish food products and some of our products as well. Going into that in-store environment. We have a massive sales force of people who are dealing with these people on a daily basis. Aldi and Lidl, again, trying to work out how you balance where the growth is happening in grocery, whereas our biggest customers with everyone in FMCG is Tesco. And so we're trying to work sure how do we make sure that we're not contributing to the issues that they are having in terms of how shopper behaviour is changing. And it looks like they're starting to turn the corner a bit, but it's an issue not just for Tesco, across all of them. And we've already seen the dash buttons. I'll be honest, I'm not quite sure if these are actual ones or an artist's impression. I like the idea of the Tide one on the washing machine. The Durex one, not really. I mean, I'm not sure it's a solution looking for a problem, maybe a bit more forward thinking on that. Really, maybe. Next to the Epson one as well. It's a beautiful category. Those are crisps. I'll get some beer and crisps instead. We'd put the Durex away. Maybe some Red Bull. And possibly a chance for a Cadbury one as well. The issue for us with digital and online shopping, when it was all starting, deliveries were happening, it was also growth, we need to invest more money in it, but it's a difficult thing for retailers to make profitable and to run well. The discounters aren't offering it particularly. And so yes, we want to sell our stuff online if we can, find a profitable and effective way of doing it, when actually the traditional way people buy snacks hasn't really changed, even though lots of stuff has changed around that. I have to be careful about the numbers that I give you, but broadly speaking, in the UK, we are manufacturing around about 1 billion bars of chocolate every year. 1 billion bars of chocolate. They cost about £1 and a bit more, okay? I can't tell you the exact number because it's secret. And people on average, when they're buying chocolate, and they're buying our chocolate, not everybody else's, it's 3 weeks out of every 4 throughout the year. So if you put all the competition as well, people are buying chocolate all the time and eating it all the time. And just under 90% of us, so pretty much everybody in this room, will be buying a Cadbury product at least once during the year. So it's around everywhere. People are using them, people are buying them, they're interested in a part of it. And this is where it comes back to, okay? So understand, this is where our stuff is being sold. These are the decisions we're trying to make. We're trying to get campaigns and creative to work together. We're trying to touch consumers in their different points. And my job, hooray, is to try and evaluate it. Mr. Popular at Mondelez, you can imagine that I am. People in marketing love to be told how effective or otherwise their campaigns are, how they could have improved them. They love that. Now, for those of you confused, this is a telephone. It used to make that kind of noise. And back in the day, they were worried about the headsets being stolen from the bottom bit, so they should attach them with a chain so that they would stay attached to it. And this is the sort of conversation starter that anyone in this room might say. So, hello, I want to know if Mondelez is bringing together next generation technologies and integrated single customer view, cross-device tracking, cutting-edge digital analytics, data optimization to propel powerful customer behavior analytics to the heart of this business decision making. Honestly, I didn't quite get someone ring me up and say that. I've had someone send that to me. I have actually had calls that have gone this line, okay? It's a lot for someone who's trying to sell bars of chocolate to get his head round. So obviously the immediate thing is, hello, who are you? And then it happens again. So sods don't really understand pretty much any of that and how that is relevant to the stuff that I've just talked about in terms of our business, which, to be honest, isn't difficult to find out. A little bit of knowledge. Might find a little bit about us. Would I like a demonstration? No. I really don't want to continue this conversation, let alone put you in front of some of our senior decision makers or the people that think about how we invest behind our brands. And so, working in analytics is the same as working in market research. What I need from people like yourselves, what we all need to do is a bit of a hug. In fact, I do like a bit of audience participation. If you could just turn to the person next to you, just put your hand on their shoulder and just say to them, it's going to be all right. It's going to be okay. It's coffee soon. It's all right. Some of you aren't doing it, and I thought that social's a big part. I know it's a social digital thing, and some of you are not sat next to anyone. This is, I think they call this dark social. This is a conversation not been recorded. It's safe. Don't do it in a creepy way, okay? It's not that kind of conference. Well, it might be. I don't know. It's the first time I've been to it, but. This is one of my favourite images, bless him, Freddie Flintoff. Those of you who like cricket will like the analogy. Those that don't know cricket should probably watch more cricket, really. And he's just saying to Brett Lee, unlucky son, you nearly won there, but, never mind. There's always next year. And that's what it feels like a lot of the time. The kind of people that we need in our business is basically the winner of Bake Off this year. Now, hands up all of those of you who watch Bake Off. Okay, and the rest of you, wow, it's a lot. Bake Off got more hands off than anything else. It's amazing. Now this guy is Selassie, who is a complete. He's probably not going to win the actual competition, but it's clear he's by far the best one. He finishes 10 minutes before everybody else, and he goes and helps them. Says, yeah, all right. He says things like, "Oh yeah, I'm in a competition." They were doing a pancake thing, and this one classic bake-off, because I'm going to get a rise on my Genoese, I can't get it right. Oh no, I'm baking a pancake. Are you going to flip it? No, I'm not going to flip it. Selassie, I'm totally going to flip it. Bang, there you go. He's calm. And he's got one amazing skill. He's pretty good baker. One thing is he's incredible at piping. He's amazing at piping. He's just like, I've got this fairly crap thing, and it looks brilliant, okay? And you just immediately feel reassured, okay, that he knows what he's talking about. And if he doesn't, he at least makes you feel reassured. He's done a little bit of work. So just try and understand a little bit about, what makes your client think, what makes you think. And this is where all of it comes together for FMCG. Okay, you can crystallize our entire strategy around what Byron Sharp talks about. If you don't know who Byron Sharp is, honestly, just look him up. What does he say? And he simplifies the real challenge of growing a brand down to one thing: availability. It's really bad news. You tell a brand manager the biggest driver of your brand is distribution. I can do a very simple explanation. This is no distribution equals no sales equals nothing, and there it is. So if it's on the shelf, boom. If it's not, nothing happens. Okay, so first of all, it's got to be there for someone to buy it. I know it's quite simple. The second thing is, so it's physically available, is the mental availability. And this is where, hopefully, we can start putting the messages in to get people into their minds to think about when they move into the store, because we know 80, 90% of the decisions over which particular bar of chocolate or snack someone will make are made in the store in the moment. It's an impulse category for the majority of it. I'm going to choose, and obviously a promotion, price promotion is a big motivator for that, which we've got to balance. But if we can do some work before they get in there to drive the mental availability, we can do a good thing in the store, like sticking a massive cow in there, for example, if that drives availability as well. So what are the tools and what are the things we do? How do we harness everything that is available, that we can touch, that we've got available, that we can search for, in order to drive these things? Talk to us about that, please. Don't talk to us about whatever that previous stuff was. And then when you're talking to me, bear in mind that I work in evaluation. If you're going to speak to me, you probably won't after this. Obviously, my favourite graph ever. And that's what I have to do. I have to bring accountability. I have to try and measure. You know, is it more duck, more rabbit? Is it a bit of both? Probably more duck. And finally, please, the same with the hug thing as well. Help me, help us to help you to make a better decision. And then let's learn so we can move on to the next thing to make a better decision next time as well, okay? Work together. So I love, if you've not seen Up, the film, see, I don't have any kids of my own, mostly other people's. So trying to understand, 0 to 9, I'm fine, and like 25 plus, I don't know what happens in between. But if you watch this film, it helps to understand. And these are the characters in all of our heads that we need to talk to try and understand why they're doing things. Are we sad? Are we happy? Are we something else? Okay? So help me to help you, and we'll sell more of these. Thank you.